I found out my wife was cheating on me. Now she's acting like I'm the one who broke us. It's a gut punch. I'm still reeling, trying to figure out how we got here. My name's Ethan. I'm a 34-year-old guy who thought he had a solid marriage until it all unraveled like a cheap sweater. This story is messy, raw, and probably too long. I need to get it out. I'm sitting here, heart cracked open, hoping typing this will make sense of the chaos. My wife, Clara, also 34, and I got married a year ago after 6 years together. We were engaged for 3 of those, pushing the wedding back twice because of the pandemic. Clara's always battled her mental health. Depression, anxiety, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's been a heavy load. I loved her through it. Early on, she told me I was the only person who made her feel like she could become the woman she wanted to be. Those words stuck with me. I thought they meant something permanent. Clara's mental health took a nosedive during the pandemic. She lost her job. The isolation crushed her. A family health scare didn't help, spiking her anxiety. She landed a new remote job. The irregular hours messed with her rhythm. I tried to be her rock. Cooking, cleaning, listening when she needed to vent. Looking back, I see the cracks forming. Her depression deepened. I didn't know how to pull her out. Then came the weddings. Right after we tied the knot, Clara got sick with COVID. Long COVID hit her hard, dragging her down physically and mentally. She was barely herself, stuck in bed, foggy and exhausted. I did everything I could. Brought her meals, kept the house running, worked my full-time job. Months later, she was starting to recover when she got COVID again. Another round of long COVID. We got smarter about managing it. The stress was a tidal wave. We masked up everywhere, only ate indoors for special occasions, sat outside at restaurants even in the winter chill. Clara's spirit seemed to break under the weight. After her second recovery, she spiraled into the worst depression I'd ever seen. She took a leave from work. I became her caretaker. I'd come home from work to find her curled up on the couch, eyes vacant. I'd cook dinner, coax her to eat, and handle every chore while she drifted through the days. It was exhausting. I loved her. I thought we'd get through it together. Slowly, Clara started to climb out of the fog. She tried new hobbies. Online classes, painting. Nothing stuck except yoga. She'd go to these late evening classes, saying they gave her energy. Her sleep was a mess from the depression. She'd stay up late, nap during the day, and the cycle kept going. After yoga, she'd say she was grabbing drinks with friends from class or sketching at a bar to clear her head. She'd promise to be home in an hour or 2. It'd be just another couple hours until the bars closed. Sometimes she'd stumble in drunk. I'd lie awake, worried about her. I tried to talk to her about it. I wasn't trying to control her. I was scared. Her sleep was shot. She wasn't getting sunlight. I knew how crucial those things were for her mental health. Clara's always been touchy about feedback. She'd snap, saying I was judging her or trying to fix her. I wrote about it in my journal, brought it up gently, even asked her to discuss it with her therapist. In couples therapy, we focused on her triggers. Her past trauma, how I needed to soften my approach to avoid setting her off. We never got to my concerns about her late nights or her shutting me out. I felt like I was walking on eggshells, trying not to upset her while drowning in my own worries. Then it all fell apart. One afternoon, Clara was napping. I picked up her phone to charge it. We've got each other's Face ID and thumbprints on our phones. Total trust, or so I thought. When the screen lit up, I saw a notification from some guy. It looked weird, flirty. My stomach dropped. I wasn't suspicious, just curious. I opened the message, expecting it to be nothing. Instead, I found texts that ripped my world apart. Clara had been meeting this guy, making out with him, and eventually having sex. She'd given him an alternate email to keep it secret. There were 2 other guys she was sexting, sending dirty messages and getting off on their replies. She swore it never got physical with them. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. My hands shook as I read through the messages. I saw emails from the first guy on her alternate account and forwarded them to myself, knowing she might try to deny it. When Clara woke up, I confronted her. We both cried. I was numb, broken, like someone had carved out my chest. She sobbed, saying she felt dead inside and craved feeling wanted, young, alive. She swore she didn't want anyone else, that she was messed up mentally and hated herself for destroying our marriage. Her remorse seemed real. Despite the pain, I wanted to fix this. I told her I loved her and wanted to work on us. The next day was brutal. We muddled through. Then she had a therapy session. When we talked afterward, her tone had shifted. Her therapist had told her this wasn't who she is since she'd never cheated before. The leave from work was helping her mental health. She'd felt trapped, desperate for attention. Worst of all, the therapist said I'd violated her privacy by checking her phone. Clara repeated these points like a lawyer building a case, her voice sharp, defensive. It felt like she was blaming me for her betrayal. I was stunned. Where was the guilt? The woman who'd cried in my arms the day before was gone, replaced by someone who seemed to think I'd pushed her to cheat. Over the next few days, she softened, taking some responsibility. I clung to hope that we could rebuild. 5 days after I found out, she went to an afternoon yoga class and said she needed to think about her job afterward. She kept delaying coming home, texting me she'd be back later, then later again. I begged her not to do the exact thing that led to her cheating so soon after I found out. How could I trust her? She had location sharing on. I drove to the bar she was at, heart pounding. I told her in person she was breaking me all over again. She stared at me, cold, and said she was staying until 2 in the morning, and that was that. I left, defeated. She came home later. I don't think she cheated that night. The trust was shattered. After our next couples therapy session, Clara had another solo therapy appointment. Since then, she's barely been home. She'll text vague plans. Like dinner with a friend. Nothing specific. She comes home late, crashes on the couch until I wake up, then sleeps in our bed until she leaves again. She says she needs space. She still texts I love you, but she hasn't said the words aloud in weeks. I'm terrified she's pulling away for good. I don't want her to feel trapped. I want her to be healthy, to have good coping habits, to want me. I feel her slipping away. I'm scared for her too. She's had suicidal thoughts before. I just want her to be okay. I think Clara's projecting her parents' toxic relationship onto me. She sees me as controlling, like her dad was. Her therapist probably hears this version of me and encourages her to set boundaries. I don't think the therapist is wrong based on what Clara's told her. I know Clara's leaving out key details. Like how she hid the cheating for 2 months or how often she's out drinking alone. Our next couples therapy session is coming up. I'm bracing for her to say she's moving out. If I push back, I'll be labeled controlling. It feels so damn unfair. I've spent years supporting her, loving her through her darkest moments. Now I'm the villain in her story. I'm not perfect. We started couples therapy before this because I can be argumentative. Clara's past trauma makes confrontation hard for her. I've worked on softening my tone, being less intense. I'm better, but not flawless. I've poured everything into making her happy and healthy. How can she think I'm trying to control her when all I've suggested is basic stuff, like being home by midnight on weekdays or trying to sleep better for her mental health? It kills me that she sees me as the bad guy. Weeks passed. Things got worse. Our couple's therapist and my own therapist started suspecting Clara might have bipolar disorder, possibly triggered by long COVID or something else. Her family had noticed similar patterns. She'd swing between extremes. Coming home crying, apologizing, swearing she only wanted me. We'd talk about our future, maybe moving somewhere new for a fresh start. We'd make up, even have sex. For a moment, it felt like we were us again. Then she'd get restless, leave for longer stretches, and admit to cheating again. She'd come home at 6 in the morning, sleep for 14, 15, once even 19 hours. It was like watching her unravel in slow motion. I was losing myself trying to save her. My therapist helped me see that no matter how much I loved Clara, I couldn't fix her. Change had to come from within her. Bipolar disorder takes years to manage, even with treatment. Even if she got better, our relationship was built on her insecurities. Feeling like she wasn't smart enough, good enough, always bracing for confrontation. The cheating, the lies, the blame. It was too much. I realized we might never make it, no matter how hard I tried. So I made a decision. I'm preparing for a legal separation. It's like a divorce but keeps her on my health insurance, which she needs. My therapist pointed out that I sometimes try to control situations to ease my own anxiety. Letting go of this marriage will force me to face uncertainty. It's terrifying, but it feels right. Clara's already packed her things, planning to move out. It should be smooth. I'm not rushing it. I'll wait until she's in a stable place to tell her. For now, I'm focusing on me. I've planned solo trips, reached out to old friends, and started rebuilding my community. It hurts to realize how many people I let slip away while I was caught up in Clara's chaos. Reconnecting with them has brought me so much joy. This whole thing has been a nightmare. I loved Clara with everything I had. I can't keep setting myself on fire to keep her warm. I'm 34. I've got a life to live. I don't know what's next. For the first time in a long time, I'm excited to find out. The decision to let Clara go wasn't a single moment. It was a slow burn, like watching a candle flicker out. Every time she came back, eyes red from crying, promising she'd change, a part of me wanted to believe her. I'd hold her, feel her trembling, and think maybe this time she'd fight for us. She'd vanish again, chasing whatever made her feel alive, leaving me to pick up the pieces. It was like loving a ghost. Someone who was there but not really. I started noticing the toll it took on me. I wasn't sleeping. My work was slipping. I'd snap at coworkers over nothing, then feel like a jerk. My friends stopped inviting me out because I was always dealing with Clara. I looked in the mirror one morning and didn't recognize the guy staring back. Bags under my eyes, shoulders slumped, like I'd aged a decade in a year. That's when I knew I had to choose myself. Planning the separation felt like betraying her at first. I'd lie awake, imagining her reaction. Would she cry? Scream? Beg me to stay? Or worse, would she just nod and walk away, like I meant nothing? The guilt was crushing. Clara's mental health struggles were real. I'd promised to love her through sickness and health. Where was the line? How much of myself did I have to sacrifice before it was okay to say enough? My therapist was a lifeline. She didn't sugarcoat it. Clara's behavior, the cheating, the blame shifting, it was abusive, even if unintentional. Bipolar disorder might explain it, but it didn't excuse it. I started reading about the condition, trying to understand. The highs of mania, the lows of depression, the impulsivity. It fit Clara's patterns like a glove. Treatment could take years. Even then, there was no guarantee she'd be the partner I needed. I couldn't keep waiting for a version of her that might never exist. I threw myself into rebuilding my life. I called up my old college buddy, Mike, who I hadn't seen in years. We grabbed beers. I spilled everything. He didn't try to fix it. Just listened, then said, "Man, you're stronger than you think." Those words hit hard. I started texting other friends, setting up coffee dates, game nights. I even joined a hiking group, something I'd always wanted to try. The first time I reached the top of a trail, lungs burning, staring out at the city below, I felt alive again. Like I was more than Clara's husband, more than her caretaker. Clara's still in the house. It's like we're roommates. She'll shuffle in at odd hours, sleep on the couch, then disappear. I don't ask where she's been anymore. It hurts too much. Last week, she left a note on the fridge. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm trying." I stared at it for an hour, torn between wanting to hug her and wanting to scream. I didn't do either. I just tucked the note away and kept going. The legal stuff is moving forward. I've got a lawyer. We're sorting out the details. Clara's insurance will stay intact, which eases some of the guilt. I'm planning a trip to the coast next month, just me and a backpack. I want to walk along the beach, feel the salt air, and figure out who I am without her. I've also got a group trip planned with Mike and a few others. Somewhere warm, maybe Mexico. The thought of laughing with friends, no drama, no eggshells, feels like a dream. Looking back, I see how much I gave to Clara. I don't regret it. Love isn't something you measure out like ingredients in a recipe. I regret losing myself in the process. I thought I could save her, that my love would be enough. It wasn't. That's not my fault. It's taken me a long time to believe that. Sometimes, I still hear her voice in my head, saying I made her feel like she could be anything. I wonder if she remembers that. I wonder if she knows how much it meant to me. I can't carry that weight anymore. I'm stepping into a new chapter. It's scary as hell, but it's mine. A month later, I told Clara about the separation. I waited for a day when she seemed stable. Not manic, not crashing. We sat at the kitchen table, coffee mugs between us. I laid it out. I told her I loved her but couldn't keep living like this. I explained the legal separation, how she'd stay on my insurance, how we could both start healing. My voice shook. I got through it. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just looked at me, eyes tired, and said, "I knew this was coming." That hurt more than I expected. Like she'd already let go. She said she was moving in with a friend, that she was starting intensive therapy for bipolar disorder. She apologized again. It felt hollow, like she was saying what she thought I wanted to hear. I nodded, told her I hoped she'd be okay. That was it. She packed the rest of her stuff that week and left. The house feels empty now, but not in a bad way. It's quiet. I can breathe. I've been painting the walls, rearranging furniture, making it mine. I adopted a dog. A scruffy mutt named Max who follows me everywhere. He's a terrible listener but a great cuddler. He makes me laugh every day. It's funny how small things like that can pull you out of the dark. I'm not saying I'm over it. Some nights, I still dream about Clara. The old Clara, the one who laughed at my dumb jokes and held my hand during scary movies. I wake up with an ache in my chest. It's softer now. I'm learning to let go, to forgive her, to forgive myself. I'm 34. I've got time to build something new. Maybe I'll fall in love again. Maybe I won't. Either way, I'm enough. Have you ever been in a situation like this? What would you do? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this kind of content and want to hear more real-life stories, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means so much.